Welcome back to another X4 video. EGOSOFT today or yesterday, I forget, with time differences and all that, it's way too much for someone like me to handle. Posted a tweet mentioning the upcoming 4.0 feature, Terraforming. It was basically a tease. It showed a planet spinning and just kind of had a little blurb about the future. And that was really it. Now, I took a look at this little animated GIF. I don't want to start that argument. MP4. We'll just go with MP4. And you can see it here. I took a look at it. I don't know what to make of it. I yelled enhance at my computer a few times. It didn't give me anything better. I don't know. It always works on TV. Apparently the Unu TV would lie to you. So I don't know what this video is of, but maybe it's a current representation of a planet, obviously spinning quicker in game, or maybe it is the result of a current planet that's terraformed. I'm not sure. But in this video, we're going to discuss what we know about terraforming and the results of a little bit of my investigation involving terraforming. All right, let's get into it. What we know about terraforming really comes from the Gamescom live stream where EGOSOFT kind of first mentioned it. And what they really say is that it'll require a massive amount of resources to do, not to expect great economic rewards, and there'll be resulting cosmetic changes in the planets. That's really all we officially know about the terraforming system. And, it makes sense that this is an endgame, quote-unquote, system, in that you won't be messing with it early on. It's going to require a lot of progress to have been made, a lot of credits, a lot of resources. So, the results part of this, the rewards, where they say don't expect massive rewards from it, makes a lot of sense, right? Because what would you do with those rewards? Like, great, I have 10 billion credits now, 100 billion from that I got as a reward. What do I do with it? It doesn't make much sense to have strictly economic rewards coming from this system. Now, I started to do a bit of an investigation around what may already be in the game with terraforming, and I found some interesting things. Now, I'm not going to go into any really specific details here because it's all in flight, in progress. So the details could change, but what I saw overall probably won't. And this is no great spoilers, but if you don't want to know anything about terraforming, you should probably cut out now, even though that'll hurt me with the algorithm. So you could leave a like instead. It's always appreciated. All right, so on to what I kind of found out about the terraforming system. As expected, it is endgame. In fact, it seems like it'll require you to at least have a wharf built, probably more than that, and extreme amounts of money and resources will be needed. Now, terraforming, as far as I can tell, it's not a open system, meaning you can't terraform every single thing in the game. There will be certain planets that can be terraformed, and it'll involve mission chains it'll leverage mission chains in order to do this terraforming. So there are particular planets that will be able to be terraformed, and there's mission chains for that. Another impression I got with what I saw was kind of like Sim Earth. Now, I don't mean this in the specific like gameplay of Sim Earth where, you see the planet and do stuff like that. I mean more of there will be issues to deal with involved with terraforming. Like if you imagine terraforming, I guess the standard kind of Total Recall terraform is, you want to create a breathable atmosphere. And to do that, I forget how when you release carbon, you need carbon dioxide, or you melted ice for oxygen. So these problems will develop where you need to solve. And to solve these, you'll need to build some things. And I mean this kind of abstractly. There's no, like if you ever played EVE Online and their planetary system, you actually build facilities on the planet. It's in an abstract way, but you place them and you do stuff like that. Don't expect anything in that level of detail, but you will have to face some challenges when terraforming the planet and then build things to get the job done. And getting the job done, as far as I can tell, means reaching, there are different goals for different planets and different milestones for each planet to get it to the finished state. So it'll be a kind of neat system. There'll be a lot of flavor in it. There'll be a lot of kind of lore-ish stuff in it. So it'll be pretty cool. But, don't expect a very detailed SimCity kind of effect where you're placing things on the planet. Because as we know in this game, planets are a decoration. And nothing in what I've seen is changing that, really. With an asterisk on that. So, I wouldn't expect anything like planets becoming civilian economies that you have to manage, things like that. I could be wrong, but I don't really expect that to happen. So let's talk about how all your efforts are rewarded. So, for me, I play X4 for a reason. Everyone plays probably games for different reasons, but for me, X and the X series, it's always been the kind of classic power fantasy. And that's the reason I don't want it to be a multiplayer game. Because in multiplayer games, they have to balance. It's not really realistic to take over the universe in a multiplayer game, right? Because how would that work? Sure, your alliance can, in EVE Online and things like that, take over part of the universe. But this is a single player experience. If you want the multiplayer experience like that, there are plenty of games that do it. And that's one of the great things about EVE Online to me is you can change the universe in your own way. And the way you want to do it matters because it's persistent and single player. You can't ruin the experience for other players, which is something developers have to consider in multiplayer games. So that power fantasy is really why I play X4. So when I think of rewards coming from a terraforming system, and as we already mentioned, providing more economic rewards doesn't really make sense since this is an endgame system. Unless, I'll just throw this in there, unless they have further systems down the line they want to do, like making a Dyson sphere. Now, that'd be really cool, and I have no evidence that that's the case, but you would definitely need to greater economic output to reach that level. But I don't think we're there yet, maybe someday. So we'll just kind of talk about terraforming as it will be in 4.0 and not an economic reward. So what kind of rewards would matter if that's the case? Now, they could do special ships as rewards, maybe ones that you can't get. I forget X3. I should have researched this, before, but this just came to me. The M0, whatever that was, that you couldn't actually get without a mod, I think. Special ships could be a reward. I don't know. Other ways to exert influence over the X4 universe could be a reward. So, maybe you want to wipe out the Xenon completely, or change something with the Xenon, or change something with the sector. Those could be rewards from the terraforming system. So influence over the universe could be good rewards. If you play for that kind of power fantasy role where you want to affect the universe, then influence type rewards could be pretty cool. And then seeing how those rewards affect the universe could be neat and open up new opportunities to, expand the universe, things like that. So I think that's really where rewards will fall in line, is in influence. But, I don't really have too much proof on that. It's just, other than cosmetics, we know cosmetics will happen. So plants will change. How much they will change, I don't know. I don't expect anything crazy. You're not suddenly gonna be able to land on planets and walk around and things like that. I'm sure they could do that if they really wanted to, but I don't really know what kind of content would be on those planets. That sounds like a whole different game, so I wouldn't expect anything like that. So that covers terraforming from a very high level. And just to kind of go over a quick recap, there'll be missions to do that will require a lot of resources, a lot of money, and they will change the look of a planet. We know that. They will provide some sort of reward. It could be, special ships, could be special ways to influence the universe. We don't know, but we shouldn't expect any sort of monetary reward, really, because there's no point to it at that stage in the game. You have plenty of money. So that's about what we know. I always appreciate teasers from companies. Hey, it gives you something to think about during the day when you should be working. Not that I would ever do that, or you, right? All right, that about covers it for this video. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining. We'll catch you next time.